Spoon River Paranormal here, and I was just wondering if anyone had ever heard the case about the Macomb Poltergeist. No, not that poltergeist. This is an actual poltergeist that was documented by the newspapers, by the police. Yes, that Macomb. McDonough County, Western Illinois University. Poltergeist is a German word meaning noisy ghost. It is usually extreme activity like chairs flying, things levitating, things getting stacked, knocks, things flying across the room, scary stuff. But what most people don't know is that poltergeist activity is usually the product of a live person, like some sort of form of telekinesis or psychokinesis. Sometimes ghosts can move stuff. So sometimes poltergeist activity can be the works of a spirit. If you can hear my dog walking around, I'm sorry, she's a tank. But anyhow, the Macomb Poltergeist was a tale about an unruly little girl who started fires with her mind. This actually inspired Stephen King to write his novel Firestarter.
Charlie McGee is a healthy 8-year-old girl, normal in every way.
Charlie, now watch what you're doing.
But one.
Did she do that?
What are you gonna do with her? I'll bring her here, so you can do all your tests. Then you give her to me.
Charlie has the power.
Do something bad? Will you still love me?
Oh, Charlie.
She can set things on fire.
Something's happening in there.
With just a glance. It is a power she does not want.
Stick with him.
Daddy, I'm scared.
So am I, honey.
A power she cannot control.
Back up.
And each night, she prays.
So I've read. Stephen, if you're listening, please verify. The 13-year-old girl's name was Wynette McNeil, and her little brother Arthur Jr. and her father Arthur had moved to this family farm in rural Macomb after her parents' divorce. And they moved in with her uncle Charlie Wiley, along with all of his family too. So Wynette and her family were from Bloomington, Illinois. And needless to say, Wynette was not happy about moving to a rural farm with her dad and brother. I'm sure that she missed her mom. Shortly after moving into the residence, strange things started to happen. It started on August 7th and continued through the rest of the month. Little brown spots spontaneously started forming onto the wallpaper out of nowhere. Upon further investigation, it was discovered that the small brown spots were in fact burn marks. Maybe probably looked like someone took a cigarette. The strange incidents started to get worse though. By the day, the burn marks that just appeared out of nowhere started to become bigger and bigger. They were happening more frequently. Not only that, but they were no longer just marks. These spots were starting to burst into flames right before everyone's eyes. The family was baffled as to why or what was causing the phenomena, and it looked to friends and neighbors for help. The friends and neighbors tried to help by staying at the Wiley farmhouse around the clock in shifts, accompanied by bowls and buckets of water, so they could put out the flames as quickly as they started. Even with the help of the neighbors, the fire started to get worse and worse as the days went by. A fire broke out on the front porch, and it sent the curtains adorning the windows of the house up in flames. And another fire broke out and burned up a household ironing board. And that was just the beginning. During the following week, more than 200 unexplained fires broke out at the house, which eventually caused the place to be consumed by flames and totally lost. So, of course, all these fires caught the attention of not only the police, but the insurance companies. And they came sniffing around, and they brought investigators, they brought doctors, they brought scientists, and there was no explanation for why these fires kept breaking out. There was a fire chief named Fred Wilson, and he was just as confused as to everyone else as to why these fires were happening. And he actually witnessed with his own eyes flames bursting out of nowhere. And, he was definitely mind blown after that. People from the United States Air Force actually came and investigated this case because they thought maybe the Russians had a direct energy weapon and was, firing it at the farm for some reason. There were simply no answers, and the police were not satisfied until they had a culprit. And they had their eyes on 13-year-old Wynette. It was the only thing that they could come up with. In the end, Wynette basically took the blame for starting the fires because she was extremely unhappy. She was lonely. She missed her mom. She missed her friends. When you understand, like, poltergeist activity and sometimes emotional turmoil, puberty, things like that can cause it to happen out of nowhere, then this is kind of like, you know, a telltale case of classic poltergeist. Anyhow, it happened in 1948 in Macomb, Illinois. Go Leathernecks.